Believe me guys, there is no in Nigerian Christmas without a smoky party jollof rice. Before now, I called this jollof rice, but actually it's called jollof rice. And if it's not spicy, smoky, and flavor loaded, it's not even jollof rice. So this is my love story in a pot. So for our episode 3, to begin this recipe, we are going to be needing some vegetables. I am talking about some tomatoes. Then you're going to be needing red bell peppers, but you can use tatashe if you can find that readily available. Up next is some onions, and it's a must ingredient. Then shogbo. I don't know what you call this in your area, but it's called shogbo over here. In English, it's called chili pepper. Then we are going to be using the main pepper. Some call it atarodo, some call it fresh pepper, and some call it ose. Then some garlic and ginger. I'm not really a fan of this too, so I'm going to use a little of them. So I use like 4 cloves of garlic and this piece of ginger. There are different ways you can prep your tomato maize, but we are going to be using this method today. This method involves using a pan, but you can use a pot if you must. Just add your vegetables in the pot, then add a little bit of oil to cook or toast, and you're going to toss them around just like this. This method is simple and straight to the point. Alternatively, you can toast in an oven, or better still, boil with a little water in a pot. For me, I'm going to be toasting in a pot until the water runs dry just like this. And believe me, at this point, it already smells like jollof. So next is to blend without water, and you're going to be having something like this, a smooth perfect paste for your stew base. So you're going to set that aside and move on to the next process. So I'm using chicken for this, and I'm going to be cooking with some onions, thyme, curry, garlic powder, and my favorite, chicken knorr cube. When it comes to Nigerian delicacies, meat stock is important, so you have to season properly, and I forgot, you have to add salt too. The broth or stock has to be rich and flavorful. So I'm going to be cooking the chicken for the first 8 minutes without water. Then add water and cook for just 5 minutes. Okay, I used the chicken cod broiler here, and it's a soft chicken. If you add too much water, you're going to overcook the chicken, and you're not going to be having something like this after frying. So you have to cook with little water, and it does not have to stay long on heat. But if you're using those hard chicken like old layers, parent cock, and the rest, you can add water and cook for a little bit longer. Then in the same pot of oil, I'm going to saute some onions, then add some thyme and curry powder. This is just building up flavors. You should try this method and you're going to thank me. So next is the tomato paste. So I'm using this brand called Sarah, and it cooks faster, but you can use other brands like Dereka, Juno, Centrita, all of that. It's just that some are sweeter and take shorter time to cook. So you're going to be cooking the tomato paste until it looks like this. The color changes, and when you arrive at this consistency, it's time to add your tomato mix. And since we have cooked or toasted the tomatoes, it's going to take shorter time to cook. So all you just have to do is to mix until everything is perfectly combined, just like this. Please note that the stew base is important. The stew base is the jollof itself. So we are going to be going heavy in seasoning. It has to be flavorful. So we are going to be using curry, bay leaf, seasoning cubes, or bouillon cubes. I'm using chicken knorr here, and I'm going to add some salt. Now, since we are not making stew for white rice, this is what you're going to do to make your jollof rice flavorful. We are going to season until it's borderline salty. Now, this is what I mean. We are going to season the stew until it's somehow salty and spicy. When you taste the stew, you feel like, there's too much salt and there's too much spice. Yeah, that is what we are going for, because after now, I don't think it's advisable to season further, because if you season after, you will notice that sometimes some part will be salty and some part will just be there. So just season properly now, and remember to add your meat stock. So I took out some of the stew because it was just too much for the quantity of rice I'm making. So I'm using basmati rice here, also known as long grain rice, and I'm not going to parboil the rice. I'm just going to wash until the water runs clear. And this is an important step in making a perfect jollof rice. Please don't parboil the rice, and make sure that you are using enough stew for the rice, just like this. The stew has to embrace the rice. It has to be too much. Yes, because we are going to be cooking with the stew and a little bit of water. Basmati rice tends to cook with steam than water. So a little above the rice level is fine. It's better to add some water later if required than to add too much water now and the rice will come out soggy. So when you get to this point, you just have to cover with a foil paper. This is just to trap the air and steam inside the jollof. So this is what I do, yeah. I increase the heat now and it gets burnt slightly. Then reduce the heat again for it to cook with steam. So after about 20 minutes, I'm going to remove the foil paper. Then using a spoon, you can use a wooden spoon or any other spoon you can find, but preferably a wooden spoon. Then flip and turn so that everything down will come up. This process is just to make the rice or the grain cook evenly. At this point, you're already perceiving the smokiness or the party jollof. So practically, smoky jollof is just a burnt jollof rice. And if you're going to make one, you have to burn some rice. It's a must, and that is why it's smoky. So burn the rice a little bit and keep turning and flipping. And this will take a lot of time if you're cooking a 50 kg rice, and that is why you need a wooden spoon. A wooden spoon makes it a lot easier, and to some, it adds to the taste. For me, I believe in those things anyway, but since I'm using this pot, I'm going to use a spoon that complements the pot. I mean, I don't want to damage my pot, okay? So the next step is the final step, okay? This is just to add some onions, tomatoes, and to some, they add some sweet peppers too, but it's totally optional. You can choose to just add the onions. Then I'm going to be using some butter, and this is important, okay? And this butter is called Simas, and it's perfect for jollof. So I'm just going to cover the lid for 15 minutes on a low heat. And after that, I'm just going to flip and turn again. And after this, our jollof rice is ready. Easy peasy, no stress. This is the perfect jollof recipe you can find on the internet today. It's a no fade, trust me. You're going to be getting this vibrant jollof color. You know, a perfect jollof rice has its own color. And when looking at it, you would know that this is going to taste amazing. You know, some people will say, nah, they take the new jollof rice, we go sweet. Believe me, guys, if you try out this recipe, you're going to be bringing the party to your home because you have just made a smoky party jollof rice. So for this festive season, this is one of the top recipe for you and yours. So if you're still with me at this point, that means you found this video helpful. So all you just have to do for me is to click on the subscribe button, like, leave a comment, and share with your friends. By doing so, you are helping this channel grow and you are putting a smile on my face. Now, before we forget, what is that recipe or that Nigerian delicacy you want us to present during this festive period? Leave a comment and we are going to be sharing the recipe with you ASAP. So that is my cue, my loves. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment for us. And I'll be seeing you on my next episode. Always hit the notification bell to get notified. So my loves, do have a fantastic Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Have fun from me to you and yours.